I'm Jonathan Larsen with TYTI Investigates, and this morning we're talking about new economic numbers out from the Census Bureau, which have yet to be overturned by the president. So let's stick with the numbers. Big headline: the number of people without health insurance in America has been going down. That's a good thing. People have health insurance; it's easier for them to afford health care. Not always possible, but overall easier. Last year, for the first time, the number of people without insurance went up. This is the first time since ObamaCare went into effect. So the numbers are the rate of people lacking health insurance. I'm reading from the New York Times and the Washington Post coverage. In 2017, I should point out that that number, 8.5%, was about half of the number it had been when Obamacare took effect. In other words, when Obamacare took effect over the course of however many years, the number of Americans, the number of people without, I said 1.9 million people, which means about 27.5 million people in the country without health insurance. And let's talk about why that is, okay? One reason, quite clearly, is because Trump and the Trump administration and Republicans have done everything they could to undermine Obamacare. They've not just challenging it in court, trying to make it go away, resisting full and meaningful implementation of it. So the windows in which you can enroll, those are shorter. The barriers for enrollment, those are higher. The funding for it, what it covers, this is the one I wanted to really point out, the marketing of it, right? It used to be that they did an aggressive job of telling people to get health through other its effects, cause, effect, very simple. Here's another reason we should be relatively comfortable blaming this on Trump. If the economy were going south at the moment, we could expect people in desperation to save money by reducing the amount of health insurance they're carrying. But the other new data from the census tells us that the economy is doing better. People are making more money, and it's also that the rising tide is actually lifting some boats that haven't typically been lifted before. Disabled people, disenfranchised people, people of color, they're doing better. And so in theory, more people should be buying health insurance. I want to get to those economic numbers now, however, because there are some, and there is good news here, right? That's good news that people who have typically been left behind are starting to enjoy some of the fruits of economic expansion. The rate of poverty, for instance, the percentage of Americans living in poverty fell to 11.8%. Here's where we have some problems with this, though. The median income is basically not moving. So the increases that we've seen have been unusually robust at what has typically been the bottom. That's a good thing. But overall, we're still roughly staying. The really terrible part about the good economic numbers is this: why are those numbers better? Why are those numbers higher, right? There could be good explanations for it and bad explanations. The good explanations could be trickle down is working. The magic has finally happened. That's not what's happening. I'm reading now from the Washington Post coverage, and they explain why has the median income rate gone up, albeit very slightly, and why is the poverty rate going down? Quoting from the Post: the extra pay from having people are working more, so of course they're getting more money. Historic goal for economists, for the working class. That's how we got weekends. That's how we got 8-hour days, paid vacation, all this stuff. Everyone recognized the remedy, the salvation. So when we talk about a recovery happening here, the only recovery is that there's more work available for people to labor at. And here's the other terrifying part of all this: continue to proceed, right? So the supposed to get back on your feet and then improve. And for the last few economic, best we do is get back to where we were beforehand. We've become stuck and unable to move beyond that, whether it's because of income disparity, so much money getting funneled to the top. It used to be nominal costs, cars, education, homes, are now fundamental. We've had 11 uninterrupted economic growth and prosperity, and there are signs now on indicators that another recession is, if not coming, then increasingly probable. And if we're hit when all we've done is manage to get back where we are, then imagine how much we're going to have to struggle again to get back where we are, let alone move forward. And one thing I do want to point out for anyone complaining that this is all Trump bashing, in terms of the idea that jobs used to be considered onerous and things that we wanted to liberate people from, virtually every Democratic presidential candidate out there is talking about jobs as things that are coveted, and they are dreams, right? It's a dream to have a job. That's a great thing. It used to be that everyone understood that jobs are terrible. No one wants to do them again. And look, I get that some people enjoy their jobs. I'm obviously having fun right now, and this is my job. But the point is that you're having to do it, and that the more we can liberate Americans from labor, mind-numbing activity, which a lot of labor is, we used to aim for that, and now not aspire to be free from. So I'm not sure if I got some glitches there. It looked like maybe I got some glitches at the TYT Bryant Park meetup. Really cool, says, I was there at Bryant Park. Told Cenk to shout out this show too. Oh, thanks. And I don't even know what my own organization is doing. O-Spike says, talk about Julian Assange for Trump. Sorry, that's G-Spike. Wants me to talk about Julian Assange for Trump. G-Spike, I will not do that. I am not sufficiently informed, and I'm not sure how much it matters, as much as, say, 1.9 million Americans losing their health insurance. So let me put it this way. My job obliged on camera to be on video time. I think it's a very dangerous slope. That's the road towards misinformation. Not so much, I think, desire to fool people incentivizes you to have opinions about things, even when you shouldn't. I'm informed. Adrian PN says, is the stream buffering a lot, or is it just me? Well, you might be buffering a lot too, but people definitely work more for no. I worked 3 jobs if I were running for president. And I told you, I've got an idea for the economy that's so radical that if you're a 2-person household, only one of you will have to work. And you'll be able to afford, and you can go on vacation, and you can have your own car, and you can retire when you're still young enough to travel, and you'll be able to do all that without having to worry about paying off your car or your kids' student loans or your own student loans. That sounds like a crazy pie in the sky utopia. It's in the name of market efficiency and competitiveness and God only knows what else. So the lifestyle was ours. We had it. We gave it away, and we can get it back very simply by doing things decades. So if it feels radical now, that's just because we've lost sight of the fact of how normal it used to be. G-Spike says, talk about JAF Trump. I will not. Okay. Really cool says, yes, with Cenk. Talk to Jamal Bowman too. How nice. I can't wait to send Cenk a clip of this and say, hey guys, next time you're in the city, maybe let me know. So next, tell Cenk what to do. Now you know how unlikely that is. Let's see. Adrian PN says, Jay, are you going to Politicon? So we actually went for us, right? Because I'm not a video star, so they're not going to want to put me on the panel or anything like that. So I'm not sure it makes sense for me to go to Houston for the debates. If I am going to Politicon, if we do end up going, we'll post it. I hope you're already following us. I'm on Twitter, JT Larsen. TYT is on Twitter, TYT Investigates, and we'll post stuff like that if we end up going. And certainly, if you're in Bryant Park, I'd love to go to a meetup. But certainly, if I'm ever like that, ping me on Twitter. Really cool says, re-ObamaCare. Remember Trump cut off the mandate. And that was begun before Trump, right? Let's not pretend this is all Trump. They went after the mandate. Some of them are not going to, and that's going to make it more expensive for everyone else who's on it. So that's another thing we haven't even talked about, is that those 1.9 million people are no longer paying into Obamacare. Everyone else who's still got health insurance, not just through Obamacare, but period, is going to be paying more to make up for that lost revenue in the revenue pool. Just Bree says, or Just Bry, I'm not sure, I apologize, that says, what did I miss? What's Trump doing to healthcare? So what he's been doing, we've seen in the headlines, right? Not funding the marketing of it, shortening the windows for enrollment and all that. What we're talking about today is seeing for the first time the impact of it. And I want to make sure I get the numbers right. But for the first time since Obamacare was implemented, according to the Census Bureau, the number of uninsured people in this country has gone up rather than down. Approximately 1.9 million additional people last year went without health insurance compared to the year before. The numbers now are 7.9% of the country, 2 years ago, lacked health insurance. Last year, that number rose to 8.5% after being at approximately 16% before Obamacare. So the short version here is Obama cut the number of uninsured people in half, and the rate continued to go down, and now it's starting to go up. And with that, and considering all the buffering issues I'm having here, I'm gonna thank you for putting up with me and putting up with them. And I'll see you in the park yesterday, I guess, guys. Anyway, so that's it. If you find any of this information worthwhile, you think people should know about it, I hope you'll share our content. Encourage people to subscribe to us here at TYT Investigates on YouTube. Like and follow us over on Facebook, where senior investigative reporter Ken Klippenstein and I post our news stories when we've got them. And we'll see you here tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Thanks, guys. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves.